Welcome once again to Backbenchers. Today's topic is clause and its types. Most of us think that clause is very difficult to understand, but it is not so. I will try to help you understand with suitable examples and meaningful discussion. Let us begin with an example. I know the boy who called me. In the given sentence, there are two verbs, know and called. These two verbs are finite verbs. What is a finite verb? A finite verb is limited by person and number of the subject and changes its forms according to tenses. একটি finite verb সাবজেক্টের পার্সন এবং নাম্বার দ্বারা নিয়ন্ত্রিত হয় এবং টেন্স অনুযায়ী তার রূপের পরিবর্তন ঘটে। In this sentence, the verb know is in present tense, but the verb called is in past tense. That is why ed is added to the verb call. Now, have a look at a few examples of finite verb. He knows the boy. In the sentence, the subject he is in third person singular number. That is why s is added to the verb know. In the second sentence, we know the boy. The subject we is in first person plural number. That is why the verb know is used and no s is added to the verb know. In the third sentence, he knew the boy. The verb knew is in past indefinite tense. That is why the past form of the verb know, which is knew, is used. So these three verbs are finite verbs. Now get back to the example, I know the boy who called me. In the sentence, there are two parts, I know the boy and who called me. Each part contains a finite verb. Each part has a subject and a predicate of its own, and each part forms part of a sentence. Each part is called a clause. So, we conclude that a clause is a group of words having a finite verb. It has a subject and predicate of its own. It forms a part of a sentence. Clause হলো একগুচ্ছ শব্দ যার মধ্যে একটি ফাইনাইট ভার্ব আছে, এটির একটি সাবজেক্ট এবং প্রেডিকেট আছে এবং এটি সেন্টেন্সের একটি অংশ। Now read these two examples. We saw an injured elephant. We saw an elephant which was injured.
In the
first
first sentence,
an injured elephant is a group of words. It forms a part of a sentence. It contains no finite verb, but it acts as a single part of speech. In the second sentence, there are two parts. We saw an elephant and which was injured. Each part is a group of words. Each forms a part of a sentence. Each contains a finite verb and each has a subject and predicate of its own. So, we can conclude that in the second sentence, there are two clauses. We saw an elephant and which was injured. And there are two finite verbs, saw and was. But in the first sentence, there is one finite verb, saw. But in the group of words, an injured elephant, there is no finite verb. So, it is called a phrase. Now, let us compare between phrase and clause. Phrase is a group of words. It forms a part of a sentence. It contains no finite verb, but it acts as a single part of speech. A clause is a group of words. It forms a part of a sentence. It contains a finite verb. It has a subject and a predicate of its own. ফ্রেজ এবং ক্লজের মধ্যে যে দুটি বিষয়ে মিল আছে সেগুলি হলো এরা দুজনেই একগুচ্ছ শব্দ এবং এরা সেন্টেন্সের একটি অংশ, কিন্তু এদের মধ্যে ডিফারেন্স যেটা হলো ফ্রেজের কোনো ফাইনাইট ভার্ব নেই, কিন্তু ক্লজের ফাইনাইট ভার্ব আছে। ফ্রেজ একটি মাত্র পার্ট অফ স্পিচ অর্থাৎ একটি মাত্র পদ হিসাবে কাজ করে, কিন্তু ক্লজের নিজস্ব একটি সাবজেক্ট এবং প্রেডিকেট আছে। So far we have learned the definition of clause and the difference between phrase and clause. Let us learn the classification of clause. Again, get back to our first example, I know the boy who called me. In the sentence, there are two clauses. The first clause, I know the boy, stands by itself, so it is independent. The second clause, who called me, depends on the first clause, so it is dependent. The first clause is called principal clause or the main clause. The second clause is called subordinate clause. So, what is a principal clause? A principal clause can stand independently. A subordinate clause depends on principal clause. Principal clause স্বাধীনভাবে টিকে থাকতে পারে সেন্টেন্সে, কিন্তু সাবঅর্ডিনেট ক্লজ প্রিন্সিপাল ক্লজের উপর নির্ভরশীল তার অর্থ প্রকাশের ক্ষেত্রে। Let us study some more examples. Everybody knows that the earth is round. In the sentence, everybody knows can stand independently. So, it is an independent clause or principal clause. And the clause that the earth is round is subordinate clause because it depends on the principal clause. The second example, Ganguly, who captained India, retired in 2008. In this example, Ganguly retired in 2008 can stand independently, so it is a principal clause, and who captained India is subordinate clause because it depends on the principal clause. The third example, as she was ill, she could not come. In this sentence, she could not come is principal clause because it can stand independently. As she was ill is subordinate clause because it depends on the principal clause. We have already learned two types of clause, principal and subordinate. But clause can be classified into three categories. Let us learn the third type of clause. Again, we will start with examples first. Kohli plays cricket and Messi plays football. We can see that there are two finite verbs in the sentence, plays and plays. So, there are two clauses in the sentence. Kohli plays cricket and Messi plays football. These two clauses are joined by and. If we omit and look at this sentence, these two clauses can stand independently. These two clauses are independent clauses. These two independent clauses are joined by and. And joins two same types of clauses, two independent clauses. So, and is called a coordinating conjunction. What is a coordinating conjunction? A coordinating conjunction joins words, phrases, or clauses of equal rank. In this sentence, the coordinating conjunction and joins two independent clauses. When two independent clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction, the clause is called coordinate clause. There are two coordinate clauses in the sentence: Kohli plays cricket and Messi plays football. যখন দুটি ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট ক্লজ একটি কোঅর্ডিনেটিং কনজাংশন দ্বারা যুক্ত হয়, ক্লজ দুটিকে বলা হয় কোঅর্ডিনেট ক্লজ। এখানে অ্যান্ড কনজাংশনটি কোহলি প্লেস ক্রিকেট এবং মেসি প্লেস ফুটবল এই দুটি ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট ক্লজকে যুক্ত করেছে। যখন কোনো একটি কনজাংশন একই জাতীয় ওয়ার্ড, ফ্রেজ বা ক্লজকে যুক্ত করে, সেই জাতীয় কনজাংশনকে বলা হয় coordinating conjunction. If you want to learn more about coordinating conjunction and subordinating conjunction, please follow the link and watch the video on conjunction and its types. Before we finish, let's have a quick recap. Clause can be classified into three categories: principal, subordinate, and coordinate. In my next video, I am going to discuss subordinate clause and its types, noun clause, adjective clause, and adverbial clause. I hope I have clarified your doubts about clause and its types in this video. Still, if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to ask me in the comment box. I will gladly respond. Anyway, thanks for watching Backbenchers.